So, I have wanted to do this video for a while. This is not gonna work here, look at that. That's not gonna work. I always say that everything that the left says is projection, and this video is the perfect showcasing of that. So for instance, they say the left is, or the right is racist. They're usually the real racists. They said there's an insurrection. You look up the definition of an insurrection. If you believe that the election was stolen, that's what they're doing. Coup, that's what they're doing. Terrorists, look at Antifa, that's what they're doing, etc. A big one I see going around is that Trump supporters are in a cult. And boy, I looked up signs of cults, okay? And people on the left tick almost every single box. And that's what I'm here today to go over, because it's actually hilarious. And I'll also address how maybe the right might have some of these things, and if they do or why they don't. But holy shit, the left ticks every goddamn box. Almost. Yeah, so I found some random websites. You could just Google signs are in a cult, signs of a cult. These will come up. And yeah, I'm gonna go over various things that I found. So the first one is the leader is like supreme, basically. And this one I can kind of see how the left thinks that we're in a cult, because we love Trump. People love Trump. But you see, there's a difference between worshipping someone, like legitimately, and just being a fanatic and loving them. Look at fandoms. Look at how people scream and like follow celebrities and bow down to them, and they would do anything for them. Are they not in a cult? You know? And I don't think, honestly, that all Trump supporters would do whatever Trump said. Like, if he said to go burn something down, I would hope people would be like, okay, we're done with him. You know, that's my guess, is they wouldn't do that. But you never know. So, the first one, you know, let's just give that to the left, okay? Let's say that where we worship Trump or something. And actually, on that note, I have seen people on the right that it's really creepy. They'll say, like, he's basically Jesus, like, oh, God sent him, and he's the chosen one, and all this weird, creepy religious shit. And if you know me, I'm not religious. It makes me want to just, you know. So that, yeah, that is creepy. I'll give him the first one. Let's go through some more. Group suppresses criticism. So, if you look at far-left groups like Antifa and just the general far-left positions of things, if you question them, you will get blocked. I have done this. I have practiced this. I could do it right now. I have politely, like, asked people things. They've blocked me. And it wasn't inflammatory at all. It was like, you know, with all respect, I'd like to ask you so-and-so. Blocked. Okay? And if you look at a lot of walk-away stories, if you could find them, because Facebook deleted that group, you will see a common reoccurrence of the theme of them questioning things and then having a bunch of their friends and family disown them and criticize them and shame them. This is a common thing on the left, whereas on the right, in my experience, personally, if you question them, they usually are fine to talk about it. Talk about dissenting opinions. The only exceptions I've had to that were Jesus and abortion. And even abortion, they'll talk to you. They're not going to block you over it. They'll argue with you because they actually want to change your mind so you don't kill babies. But the point is, they're not just going to auto-block you if you try to question them on abortion or something. Or even God, for the most part, that I've seen. I'm sure some will, but again, my experiences. Let's see. The group delegitimizes former members. You see this a lot in racial debates, where if, say, a black person comes out as a conservative, they will say they've basically lost their black card. You know, if you don't vote for me, you're not black, basically. So if you go out of the cult of leftism and start questioning things and become a conservative or even a centrist, anything 2 steps to the right of left, you are not legitimate anymore. You're no longer a gay. You're no longer a black. You're no longer a whatever. So that's another one. Whereas I haven't actually seen any instances of right-wingers turning to leftists. You know, if anyone has any of that, I would love to see it, because that's interesting to me, of like how they became that. And that's not me just being in a bubble. I'm asking if you have sources of that, please show them to me, because I'm genuinely curious. And yeah, that's another thing you will never see on the left. If you could find me a leftist who welcomes debate and actually asks for debate to criticize their points, bro, I'll eat my fucking hat. I'll toast that shit up and drink it in a blender. The group is paranoid about the outside world. Now I'm just going through random lists, so excuse any weird reading, and I'll cut the awkward parts out. If your group insists that the end of the world is near, you're probably in a cult. Okay, I do see that a lot on the right, but I also see a lot of religion on the right, and most of these articles are directed to religious cults. So I guess I'll give that one. I guess they can have that one. The group relies on shame cycles. This, oh my god, again, with the walk away campaign, you'll see it all the fucking time. If somebody steps out of line, they're shamed. You see with J.K. Rowling, you know, she dabbles in the trans things. Left doesn't like it. Out. She's fucking out. Shame them. You see it on Tumblr. People have been driven to almost suicide. Some have been because they said something that was non-politically correct. Someone drew a Steven Universe character as white or skinny or something. Oh, they like almost killed themselves. Because that's the tolerant left, guys. Also, when I say left, I'm generalizing. I'm saying like far left extremists, people high in government, Antifa, and BLM. I'm not saying the general populace. Of course, if these apply to you, I'm talking about you, but hopefully they don't. Hopefully I don't know people this crazy in person. Let's see, the leader is above the law. Okay, I can give that to them. That I can see how that might apply to views on Trump supporters and Trump. But see, if you're held to a different moral standard, specifically in regard to sex, you're probably in a cult. You know, I also see this a lot on the left, because I don't think they have a leader per se, like a person, but rather an ideology of say, like leftism, like BLM and Antifa are ideas, they're organizations, and they're above the law. You see them do all this shit, and they're never condemned, or maybe a couple of them are arrested, but it's never a news story, it's never a big thing. Whereas if you see a Trump supporter or whatever, they do one bad thing, and the entire group is now Nazis, and white supremacists, and insurrectionists. So that's something to think about. The left is really, they are above the law, so actually, no, they don't get that one. The group uses thought reform. I'm sorry, I'm actually just reading this one the first time, and I just got through watching and reading a bunch of things saying that the left wants to put people into re-education camps. That's not Nazi-ish at all, right, guys? But thought reform methods. Okay, do I have to explain this one further than that? Because if I do, I mean, you might need some help in critical thinking. The group is elitist. Again, they want this purity of, they don't offend anyone, they are inclusive of everyone, they're perfect, they are the moral standard of the earth and the universe and God, even though I don't think most of them are religious. They're elitists. The right, I do see that a little bit in the religious people, like, you know, they probably think they're better because, you know, they know the light, they know God or something. Now this is just my assumption. I'm not pointing fingers, but I absolutely see this on the left. Again, if you go out of line, you're gone. And they are the truth. They are the redemptionists. They're pure. Don't question it. There is no financial transparency. You're not allowed to know what the group does with their money. You're probably in a cult. BLM, if you ever looked at their website, their groups go to Act Blue, which is a Democrat-run thing, and all their money, where the fuck does it go? There's no transparency. If anybody has a source on where their money goes that actually helps, like, black communities to what their mottos and stuff say, I'd love to see it, because I have not seen anything. And it's definitely not going to, like, Detroit, because black-on-black violence is not a problem, guys. It's not a problem. See, the group performs secret rites. oh, ceremonies, you know, I wouldn't know because I'm not doing that. However, you know, I don't really believe in the Q shit, you know, the cannibalistic pedophiles. But if that was true, I'm sure they do weird shit, I guess. I haven't seen anything of that on the right, which reminds me I haven't addressed the other side in regards to the last couple ones on financial transparency. I think that the right is pretty transparent about where their money goes. As for elitism, like, again, there is some of it on the right, but it's just not as in your face as it is on the left, in my opinion. Let's see what else is on there. That's all for that article. Let's go to the other ones, see if there's any other ones. Intimidation, fear, and isolation. That rings a fucking bell, doesn't it? Basically terrorism, you know. If you ever just look at a fucking Antifa video, go on Tumblr and just say something of wrongthink. You will be, like, shunned, okay? And you will be isolated, picked out, and the fear, I mean, you don't, go to an Antifa rally, interact with BLM as the opposite side. They will use fear and violence to put you in your place. They do not debate. It's cultish. I had never seen anything like this on the right, aside from far-right religious groups, like what is that thing that's basically, they're not even relevant, I can't remember their name. The church that, like, protests funerals, the Westboro Baptist Church. Them, and maybe the Klan. But again, those are irrelevant groups that nobody cares about, that have no power in today's society, so make of that what you will. Is my shit still recording? Yes, and my double chin is growing with every drink of beer that I consume. Illegal activities. Let's see. Historically, religious cult leaders have been involved in illegal activities. These range from financial misdeeds and fraudulent acquisition of wealth to physical and sexual abuse. Several I have been convicted of murder. Okay, well that goes without saying. I basically covered all of that. Antifa, illegal activities, BLM, if you believe the election was stolen. Again, fraud. Sorry I said the F word. If this video is demonetized and taken down, I guess I'll put it on Rumble. Religious dogma. You could kind of translate into the leftist ideology, but these are more toward religious cults, but the idea is the same. Let's see, that one's done. Dissent is discouraged. This is a huge one that I see. I guess I already kind of addressed it, but if you criticize them at all, if you question them, you're done. Don't question them. You will get shunned. You will get banned. You will get canceled. It's just, that's how it is. Whereas in the right, again, you can question things, and they will reply and engage you in usually a respectful manner if you're respectful as well. Whereas at the left, even if you're polite, you'll just be told to get the fuck off their page because they don't have time for your bullshit. Which is, I mean, that's not even exaggeration. I've been told that basically before. So being a cult, not a chance. Anyone who questions the group leader or tenets is considered a traitor to the group as a whole. Yeah, that's basically the same thing as above. Mind-altering practices are used. Let's see, anything from meditation to chanting to speaking in tongues. I kind of see that, but I mean, the right and the left, they both chant. If you're in a protest, you know, whatever, you're gonna do a chant. It's kind of part of that. So I don't know if that one really counts on either side. Purpose of these activities is to suppress doubt. Again, questioning is wrong. That's the same thing. Members must seek permission before engaging in certain activities. I don't see that on the right. I don't really see that on the left either. But again, I'm not in the leftist cult, so I wouldn't know. But if you consider me a right-winger and I'm in the cult, then I haven't seen that. But that's just me as a Trump supporter, not as a right-winger. I'm not really a right-winger. I'm more of a libertarian. In addition to seeking permission, members must abide by the guidelines set forth by the leaders. I guess that revolves around the ideology, the worship of the ideology. Same thing. Group is elitist, again. In some cases, cult leaders aren't merely on a mission from God, they are a god. I guess guess I could give that one to the left because, again, I've seen some crazy people on the right, like, insinuate that Trump is some person sent by God, which is really fucking weird in my opinion. But religious people never seek to they never cease to amaze me. I'm not even drunk. I'm just probably early Alzheimer's or something. I'm 26. The ends justify the means. Oh yes, this is Antifa BLM written all the fuck over it. Oh my god. I mean, they've even said this before. Like, what they're doing justifies the end goal. You know, burning shit down, burning black businesses down, silencing black voices that disagree with them. The like. And the same for other sects too, you know, feminism. If I say anything against feminism, I hate myself and I hate my gender. Some pro-life bitch, she hates herself. She wants to uphold the man that's controlling her body. No, it has nothing to do with them thinking it's murder. No. They want to control women's body. Oh my god, kill me. This means that members may engage in some activities which they would have previously thought reprehensible. You know, I'm really curious about that, if there is, like, a re-education camp, if you put one of these left-wing people in there, like Antifa, if, like, when did they start becoming so radical? Because this is everything the left is saying about the right. It's all projection. How does nobody realize this? Fuck! A strong us versus them mentality. You don't fucking say, right? I mean, again, do I have to explain this? Like, I see this a lot on the right, but more so on the left. Like, at least on the right, I see some, like, attempts at compromise sometimes, and not even just the right, but, like, center and right. Like, oh, yes, we actually do have to unite and try to come to terms with our differences, but the left, I mean, they don't seem to want any compromise. It's them versus evil. Which is, I mean, I see this on both sides, but I see it a lot on the left. But I'll give this to both sides, because I do see that on both sides. Leader is not accountable to other authorities. I guess you could say that, but he was the president, so I guess that doesn't really work. Again, this is more toward religious leaders. Shame and guilt are prevalent. Again, we did that one. Yeah, sometimes a single mistake is enough to fill a member with enough shame to never stray from the path again. Group members must cut ties with their families. I've seen this in, like, I saw one story where a girl, like, turned in her parents because they were at the DC rally protest thing. And a lot of them, I've seen, like, on Tumblr and shit, like, they denounce their parents because they're racist or they're homophobic or whatever. Like, they will leave their families in replacement of the ideology, I guess. Whereas I haven't really seen this with the right. I've seen a lot of people, middle and right, that say, you know, they want to have a relationship with their parents even though they're crazy left-wingers. But they cut them out. It wasn't the other way around. The parents cut the kids out because the kids were guilty of wrongthink. Okay. In addition to cutting contact with outsiders, group members may have to make other drastic changes to their lives. Yeah, I guess. Trump supporters, I don't really see that with them. And yeah, I should have been more specific in all my previous words. I'm talking about Trump supporters, not necessarily left and right. This is addressing Trump supporters being in a cult versus the leftist ideology. You know, I don't think there's no, like, rules to being a Trump supporter. You can be any race, you could be gay, straight, bi, trans, it doesn't matter. There's no rules to that. Okay? It's not like an exclusive club. Whereas on the left, sure, you can be all those physical attributes, but if you stray from the thought gang, you're fucking done. Let's see, a preoccupation with new members. I haven't read this one yet. If there's one thing a cult likes more than its own members, it's potential new members. First of all, bringing more people into the fold is a definite ego boost to the leader who feels powerful for having control over a growing number of people. I kind of see that, where they'll be like all happy-go-lucky and they'll draw you in. They're happy to educate you so long as you listen and do not question anything. And yeah, as for the right, I mean, I can kind of see that. We're really excited to, you know, wake people up, red pill them, whatever. But I don't think it's as dark. It's like if someone doesn't want to listen to me, I don't pressure them. I don't shame them. I give them my facts, opinions, evidence, and that's it. If they don't like it, that's fine. But that's just me. More practically, additional members often means additional money. That's fucking true. Preoccupation with money. I could kind of see that one a little bit on both sides, but I honestly think most leftist organizations like BLM and Antifa are more concerned with money. More so BLM, because Antifa kind of just hates everyone. They are protesting Biden now. Again, all their funds, millions of dollars were raised. Where did it go? We don't know. A huge time commitment. Members of a cult are expected to devote inordinate amounts of time to the group. This can include completing jobs or missions for the group, blah, blah, blah. I kind of can see that one. I guess, you know, going out and protesting, generally having no life, destroying buildings. Yeah. Whereas the right, you'll see a lot of Trump supporters go on about how, you know, the right has jobs to get back to. They have families to feed. We don't have time to protest because we have a life. I don't really have a life, but most of them do. Requirement to socialize with fellow members only. God, I see this all the fucking time. Like, I've seen instances of people middle right try to interact with leftists, and they will just absolutely wall block you because they want nothing to do with you. They don't want to talk to you. They don't want to associate with you. Unless you're part of their think, you will not be able to talk to them if they know what you think. Whereas on right, or Trump supporters in general, we'll talk to you. We don't care if you're like, you know, a liberal, as long as we're all respectful in the conversation. But the left is, yeah. See, this gets something to mean that they don't engage with outsiders in their everyday lives. There's nothing worth pursuing except the group's goals. Yeah, I can see that. I see Trump supporters, I mean, they have other goals. A big goal really is just basic freedom and constitutionalism. But the other side, I don't know. Again, with BLM, whatever their goal is, I don't know what the fuck their goal is. It's not racial equality, that's for sure. In a cult, the most devoted members are firmly convinced that there is no life outside the context of the group. Every decision they make, every thought they have is focused on what is best for the group and its leader. Maybe not so much, I guess. They do other things, I think, besides destroy cities. Fear and dread. Oh, see, most if not all cult members feel fear. It may be set aside briefly during group activities or gatherings, but it's there. Even the most devoted members fear what may happen to them should they choose to leave, or even consider leaving the group. Share this list with someone who may find it interesting. Yeah, I see that a lot. I think a lot of people on the far left are just fearful, and maybe that, you know, they say fear breeds ignorance and ignorance breeds hate. Maybe that's the case. Maybe that's the real reason they're the way they are. I don't know. But yeah. Oh, and there's one more tab open. Let's see if we missed anything. Opposing critical thinking. I do see this because critical thinking involves questioning things, looking things up on your own. They will not do that. Isolating members and penalizing them for leaving. We did that one. Emphasizing social doctrines outside Scripture. Seeking inappropriate loyalty to their leaders. That just reminds me of political scandals where they fuck their way to the top. Gamergate, you know, the like. Dishonoring the family unit. We kind of went over that. Biblical boundaries. That's Bible stuff. That's separation from the church. Okay, yeah, we basically covered anything. If anyone else has anything to add or any accusations of how Trump supporters are cultists, I'd love to hear it. And I'd love to attempt to destroy your argument. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting how they check almost everything in the box. And then you see the other side. Everything they say is projection. We're not the ones that are in the cult. But share this if you liked it. It was my ramblings. I want to try to edit it, but nothing's going to get rid of this double chin. Have a great night.